Let us gaze into the abyss of the most intimate fears lurking in the depths of the soul. The fear of being unloved, merely tolerated, like an unwelcome guest at the feast of life. This is a painful realization, and for good reason. From an early age, society teaches us to seek the approval of others, without revealing that this need can become the most sophisticated trap. Throughout life, we are urged to be kind and pleasant to earn the favor of others, but they remain silent about the bitter truth. Kindness makes us vulnerable to betrayal. In striving to please everyone, we open our hearts, and every act of kindness becomes a signal, allowing others to gauge our weakness and define the boundaries of what is permissible. Deep down, even if we deny it, we understand that love is a fragile and fickle feeling, subject to fleeting whims and emotions. The attachment we build over years can collapse in an instant due to a careless word or an unforeseen mistake. But fear is a different dimension. It is not fleeting and does not depend on mood or momentary sympathies. Fear has a different nature, one worth contemplating. Fear leaves an indelible mark on the mind, like a scar that stays with a person for life. This is not the fear that degrades dignity or breeds hatred, for such fear is useless and only destroys the individual. Here, we speak of fear based on respect, instilling a reverence that deters others from challenging us as they realize the inevitable consequences that would follow. There is an unpleasant truth that many prefer to ignore. When wielding power, it is far more reliable to inspire fear than love. History knows many examples of leaders who sought universal love, but were ultimately destroyed by those who swore loyalty to them. Excessive kindness is often perceived as weakness, and in the modern world, weakness is always exploited. Niccolo Machiavelli understood this pattern well, and although modern society hypocritically rejects his ideas, it secretly applies them more than ever before. Society has been led to believe that firmness of character equates to cruelty, and that establishing clear boundaries is tyranny. But who truly benefits from this lie? In a world where every step is scrutinized under the magnifying glass of ill-wishers, there will always be those eagerly awaiting a misstep, a moment of vulnerability, to strike at the heart. Though people may outwardly display friendliness and support, deep down they are driven by self-interest, often hidden behind a mask of pretense. Loyalty lasts only as long as it is beneficial, and respect is maintained by fear of consequences. The art of leadership lies in discerning when to assert firmness and when to appeal to the letter of the law. Power, as we know, rests on two unshakable pillars: laws that define the boundaries of what is permissible, and the force that ensures these boundaries are respected. Laws without the backing of force become empty declarations that no one takes seriously. Force unrestrained by law degenerates into barbarism, breeding universal hatred. A wise leader, possessing strategic thinking, strives for a harmonious balance of these two elements, maintaining order and stability through power while avoiding excessive cruelty and violence. This perspective may seem cynical, even cruel, yet one need only look around to see how often noble and compassionate people fall victim to those they helped and supported. Observing the course of history and the twists of human relationships, one cannot help but ask, how often have we seen excessive leniency become silent permission for betrayal? Despite this wealth of experience, there are still those who naively believe that universal love is enough, that kindness can shield them from treachery. But the harsh reality is far from it. The only reliable defense is authoritative power, reinforced by measured fear that, without escalating into blind hatred, restrains the destructive impulses of others. True strength lies not in popularity or the desire to please everyone by unconditionally fulfilling others' expectations. Genuine strength manifests in respect and, at times, in the palpable fear it inspires. For respect born of fear is far more enduring than the fragile and fleeting admiration bestowed by love. This is not about becoming a despot, but about delving deeply into human nature. People tend to respect what they fear losing, and despise what they believe is entirely within their control. Human psychology is surprisingly predictable, and herein lies an unpleasant but crucial secret. Successful leadership requires skillfully balancing respect and fear, ensuring the latter does not spiral into irrational hatred, for hatred breeds implacable enemies, whereas respectful fear can create an army of loyal followers. Do you seek true might? Then cast aside illusions and face the truth. Cease the exhausting pursuit of universal love and learn to master your own fears with the wisdom of a strategist. Be unwaveringly just, but never lose your resolve. Show kindness, but avoid indulgence as if it were poison. Act with insight, anticipating potential betrayals, and prepare calculated responses like chess moves. For in the decisive moment, when you face those who crave your downfall, only true power, forged in the crucible of balance and dignity, will allow you to stand firm. Remember, people's memory of kindness is short, but the respect you command endures. Machiavelli was right. Power based on respectful fear is always more reliable than the ephemeral sympathy of love, shifting like quicksand. Master this delicate art of equilibrium and you will grasp the essence of true leadership. True wisdom lies in recognizing that power should never be absolute, like tyranny, but always strategic, like a precise sword strike. If you constantly display your strength, people grow accustomed to it, and respect, like a prize trophy, slips from your grasp. When principles are applied selectively at key moments, they take on epic proportions, becoming objects of admiration and emulation. Unpredictability becomes a powerful tool in a leader's arsenal, for routine and predictability undermine authority in the eyes of others. True power lies not in mundane actions, but in the ability to surprise, to act against expectations. Ask yourself, who commands greater respect? The one whose reactions are always predictable, or the one capable of an unexpected move, especially when subordinates believe themselves untouchable? This is the pinnacle of Machiavellian leadership. The essence is not in raising your voice to be heard, but in speaking sparingly yet weightily, so every word carries significance. A fatal mistake for a leader is the desire to please everyone. Dependence on others' approval inevitably leads to a loss of control over the situation and oneself. By trying to meet all demands, a leader risks pleasing no one, betraying their own principles and beliefs. A true leader understands that leadership entails making difficult, sometimes unpopular decisions that may not garner universal acclaim but are recognized deep down as necessary and justified. Looking at the faces of those who left an indelible mark on history, one cannot help but wonder, what made them so unforgettable? The answer lies not in their ability to ingratiate themselves with others, but in their capacity to make cold-blooded decisions in moments of universal confusion and fear. Unshakable resolve, coupled with genuine respect for others, can touch even the most hardened skeptics. A leader whose actions lack confidence and determination inevitably loses the respect of their followers, while those who act boldly and purposefully inspire loyalty even in their open critics. Now let us turn to a delicate topic many prefer to avoid: the loneliness that invariably accompanies power. Have you ever wondered why great leaders so often find themselves alone? The reason is simple. True power always implies a degree of isolation. The higher one climbs the career ladder, the fewer people can understand the motives behind their decisions, and the fewer who can offer sincere support without envy or resentment. Herein lies the cruel paradox of power. The stronger the leader, the fewer true allies remain. Yet accepting this inevitable loneliness liberates one from emotional dependence, allowing for objective decisions free from the influence of others' feelings and experiences. Take a look at the world around you. How often do people fail due to a lack of understanding of basic truths? Power is a tool that demands conscious handling, and it cannot be entrusted to those who cannot comprehend it. Otherwise, envy will inevitably arise, eroding your strength and breeding betrayal. A wise leader possesses foresight and surrounds themselves only with those who have proven their loyalty in difficult times, skillfully distancing themselves from those seeking personal gain. A perceptive leader does not reveal their plans entirely, creating an aura of mystery around themselves. Secrecy is a powerful shield. The more information you disclose, the more vulnerable you become. People cannot harm what they do not know for certain. Always keep something personal to yourself. Make your next moves unpredictable. This uncertainty will keep others on edge, ensuring your safety. However, the true essence of power, as many fail to understand, lies not in accumulating strength, but in skillfully managing the weaknesses of others. Understanding the true motives that drive people unlocks the path to effectively influencing their decisions. Have you noticed how some always seem to get what they want? The secret lies in their ability to discern the deepest fears and desires of others, deftly steering these emotions to achieve their goals. While many seek approval, a visionary leader focuses on understanding the inner drives of others. Niccolo Machiavelli wrote his works not to justify tyranny, but to reveal a truth many choose to ignore. People rarely act out of pure goodwill. More often, their actions are rooted in self-interest. Recognizing this fact allows one to shed illusions and assume a strategic position in leadership. The core of Machiavellian leadership psychology lies in understanding human vulnerability. This is not cynicism, but pragmatism. An unvarnished observation of human nature, its acceptance, and its skillful adaptation for strategic purposes. Society clings to the notion that it is better to appear good than strong, but consider what happens when others detect weakness in someone. Unfortunately, it is often exploited without hesitation. True strength, it seems, lies in the ability to display controlled kindness, sparingly and selectively, only when truly warranted. For boundless generosity, paradoxically, often leads others to take it for granted, making ever greater demands and forgetting gratitude. The greatest danger lies not in firmness of character, but in indecision and constant doubt about when to assert that firmness. Respect withers in hesitation but never fades in the face of clear and confident action. And here is the bitterest, deepest, and most unsettling truth: power is relished but never fully possessed. It is an endless game where a momentary lapse in vigilance invites someone to seize the leader's place. Everyone likely senses this deep down, even if they never admit it openly. Unrelenting vigilance, a constant readiness for the unexpected, becomes an integral part of a leader's existence. Far from a weakness, this trait is a vital mechanism, guarding against rash steps and ensuring control is never lost. Such vigilance is the price of power, a perpetual state of uncertainty, a reminder that balance must be maintained on the very edge. But dig deeper, and you uncover something many prefer to overlook. Power is, at its core, a masterfully crafted collective illusion. It is an unspoken contract between those who wield power and those who submit to it. Power exists only as long as others believe in it, as long as they convince themselves and each other of its reality. Laws and institutions undoubtedly play a role, but they are merely tools to sustain this collective belief in the established order. What happens then if someone stops believing in this illusion of power? What occurs when this unspoken agreement defining hierarchy and roles is broken? This question forces us to confront the fragility of power and its dependence on the recognition and consent of those under its sway. Indeed, a leader's influence is subject to constant erosion. Thus, the key skill of an exceptional leader is maintaining the relevance of this unspoken agreement, an invisible pact with their team. Managing this contract, renewing it, and even periodically testing its strength serve as reminders of who steers the ship. Herein lies the difference between a true leader and a mere despot. A tyrant naively believes in limitless power, but succumbing to this delusion, they lose touch with reality and inevitably self-destruct. A leader, by contrast, recognizes the precariousness of power. Understanding it is perpetually under threat of dissolution. It is in this balance, this unending tension, that their greatest strength resides. Thus, we must ask an important and perhaps uncomfortable question. Does a person truly seek power, or are they merely drawn to the illusory security it seems to promise? If the goal is absolute tranquility, leadership is the wrong path. True leadership entails risk, anxiety, and no guarantee of complete safety. Yet therein lies its allure, its very essence, rendering it irresistible. It is in the maelstrom of unpredictability, this controlled chaos, that extraordinary individuals emerge, their deeds altering the course of history. Those unafraid of perpetual tension who boldly confront danger exhibit unyielding resilience. Remember, wielding power means perpetually balancing on the edge, acutely aware of the weight of every step and the far-reaching consequences of every decision. The pursuit of serenity and comfort is incompatible with this path. But if the goal is to leave an indelible mark on the world, to carve out a unique legacy, one must embrace discomfort, learn to manage it, and even find a peculiar satisfaction in it. For it is in this state of unrelenting tension that true greatness lies. If fate has led you to this path, the fire of leadership burns within you. And here, a crucial realization dawns. Greatness lies not in infallibility, but in the ability to think and act strategically, even in defeat. Victory does not always mean triumph in every battle, but it always means refusing to capitulate in the face of setbacks. At the heart of leadership is the capacity to rise again and again. Those who master the art of resurgence become invincible. The author expresses gratitude to the readers for sharing this captivating journey into the hidden psychology of leadership, emotions, and power dynamics. If you have reached this point, you understand that the true victor is not the one who delivers the most crushing blows, but the one who skillfully chooses the moment to strike or retreat. Now the choice lies before you to become a leader or a follower, a strategist or a victim, the architect of your destiny or a prisoner of others' opinions. The author urges those who enjoyed this material to subscribe immediately, for knowledge is power and boundless horizons await. Enable notifications so you never miss an upcoming publication. If the true meaning resonates with you, leave the phrase "true strength is invisible" in the comments. Effective power needs no excessive justification, for the need to explain one's actions betrays inner instability. A leader who constantly justifies their decisions unwittingly seeks approval, a strategic blunder. It is far more effective when decisions speak for themselves, crafting an image of unquestionable authority. The psychological foundation of this approach lies in demonstrating strength while leaving room for speculation and mystery. A leader stirs the imagination of others, who fill the gaps with respect and even admiration. Human nature dictates that the unknown commands greater reverence, while the uncontrollable breeds wariness. To master the art of Machiavellian leadership, embrace this key principle: power is not given, it is taken. Yet once claimed, it demands unceasing wisdom to sustain. Act judiciously and with foresight, avoiding the abuse of power while always demonstrating readiness to wield it. Wise management of respect, control over fear, and the avoidance of hatred enable effective leadership in any situation or group. Ultimately, power over the human mind equates to control over reality itself. Those who grasp the deep mechanics of respect and fear etch their names into history. Every leader faces a dilemma: pursue love and remain vulnerable, or inspire fear to ensure protection. The pinnacle of mastery lies in blending both approaches. Yet one must never forget the fine line between respect and hatred. A misstep can plunge a leader into the abyss. The critical question is how to distinguish genuine respect from primal fear. History abounds with rulers who, blinded by power, confuse the two, leading to dire outcomes. Fear ensures immediate obedience, but only respect outlives its source. A subordinate driven by fear complies only in the leader's presence, obeying self-preservation. One who respects the leader acts in their interests even when unseen. The contrast is stark between fear's fleeting effect and the enduring inspiration of deep respect. A leader's true might lies in skillfully alternating between assertiveness and restraint. Paradoxically, relinquishing total control is integral to effective leadership. Relentless pressure drains resources and loses potency over time. A wise leader knows when to step back, allowing followers to make their own choices and inevitably err. It is against their own failures that subordinates truly appreciate the leader's vision and guidance. Denied the chance to learn from mistakes, they can never fully grasp the value of success. Consider this: the best mentor does not provide ready answers but provokes questions. The shrewdest Machiavellian leader is not the one with instant solutions, but the one who instills in followers the certainty that without their guidance, ruin is inevitable. Cruelty is not a strategic tool, but a means to teach others to value one's presence without imposing it. Once this value is internalized, none will doubt the leader's importance, and in their absence, all will wonder, what would they do? At this stage, power no longer requires constant enforcement, for it is firmly rooted in collective consciousness. Yet one aspect is often overlooked: the art of silence. Niccolò Machiavelli, famed for his insights on power, knew how to speak and imply without direct words. Strategic silence is among the most potent weapons in a leader's arsenal. Its power lies in forcing others to fill the void with their own fears and assumptions. Silence places them in a position of interpreting the leader's thoughts and intentions, breeding anxiety. Without uttering a word, a leader can hold everyone in suspense. This subtle yet formidable technique is key to managing perception and sustaining power. Mastery over silence equals mastery over emotional intensity. But caution is essential, for abruptly breaking tension risks unpredictable fallout. Excessive pressure spawns irrational fear, which inevitably undermines influence. Such fear quickly turns to hatred, and once hatred takes root, it fuels covert resistance and sabotage. A wise leader will never allow this. Hence, meticulous attention to detail is paramount. Constantly assess the emotions you evoke, recognize when tension nears a breaking point, and diffuse it in time. A gesture of empathy or humanity can ease the atmosphere, but never relinquish control. Another underrated tool is measured praise, wielded with surgical precision. Praise delivered at the right moment and in the right form holds immense power. Yet overuse dilutes its value. Reserved and well-timed praise leaves a lasting impression, like a flash of light. Apt and timely praise strengthens loyalty more than countless threats. It is a form of emotional reward, affirming to others that they are on the right path and that you recognize their efforts. But exercise restraint. Praise is a resource to be dispensed thoughtfully. This brings us to another critical aspect: managing rivals. Competition is inevitable, and there will always be challengers, some overt, others covert. How to handle them? First, recognize that the most dangerous rival is the one unaware their true motives are exposed. Resist the urge to eliminate every vocal critic immediately. Instead, let them operate for a time, allowing them to challenge you and sow doubt among others. Let them evoke a hint of fear, reminding everyone of the risks of opposing you openly. Thus, unwittingly, such rivals reinforce your authority, demonstrating the peril of defiance to potential adversaries. Their inevitable failure becomes a triumphant validation of your supremacy, their downfall a silent victory. Let unwitting foes inadvertently bolster your power. Ask yourself, do you devote enough time to analyzing others' behavior? A true leader is first and foremost an astute observer, noting patterns, fleeting reactions, and gestures that betray true intentions. Mastering this art unlocks psychological leadership. Crafting strategies without comprehensive situational awareness is futile. Observe without haste. Absorb information without revealing your hand. Let opponents feel secure as they play their games right before your eyes. This is the tactic that yields results. Then, at the most unexpected moment, turn gathered intelligence to your advantage. The element of surprise is a leader's potent weapon. Do not shy from an uncomfortable truth. Every leader faces periods of waning influence and vulnerability. Crises reveal true greatness, often outweighing past triumphs. Inevitable crises are moments of truth, demanding composure and cool-headedness. Succumbing to panic risks losing hard-earned trust and respect, but maintaining calm amid chaos and exuding confidence multiplies others' regard. It is in adversity, not prosperity, that a leader's mettle is tested. History remembers not those who led only in fair weather, but those who stood firm in storms. Leadership is not a title or formal position, but a complex interplay of emotion management, respect maintenance, and fear balancing. It is a continuous dance where every step must be precise to sustain equilibrium and guide others. Forget universal formulas for success. Focus instead on tailored strategies that account for human complexity. For people with their emotional swings and unpredictability will always remain enigmatic. And so, with this understanding, the question arises, are you ready to embrace true power? Power rooted not in brute force, but in profound psychological insight and Machiavellian finesse. Before answering, weigh the stakes carefully, for once this path is taken, there is no turning back.